Did you know 14% of daily water requirement is provided by the breakdown of macronutrients to create energy that results in formation of water? Also, dehydration is commonly used to describe a state of low body water. Dehydration actually refers to the process of losing water and not a physical state. Keep watching as we take a deep dive in the concept of hydration and how you can actually better it. Hey guys, this is Yasir from Mayata Sports. Today we're going to deep dive into the concept of hydration so you better understand the proper strategies and how much you should be drinking. And it's not just a gallon of water every day. No, it's not. It's a lot more scientific and it's a lot more nuanced, so pay attention. So the human body is made up of 60% water by weight, and that water is not evenly distributed. For example, blood is 90%, whereas adipose tissue, which is the connective tissue for fatty cells, is 5%. Now, fluid balance is a very important topic for you to understand hydration before we move on to the actual strategies and how it affects exercises. Now, despite the abundance of water that is in the body, it is very tightly regulated, so less than 1% day-to-day variation. Now, variations in water within the body are the result of fluid balance, meaning the balance between water intake and water loss. In conditions where water intake and water loss are exactly the same, the body is in a state of euhydration. If there's a sustained increase in total body, it is called hyperhydration, and a sustained decrease in total body of water is hypohydration. Although the term dehydration is commonly used to describe low body water, but it refers to the process of losing water, not a physical state. So when you're dehydrating, this means you're losing water in your body. Now let's quickly touch upon water intake. While the main source of water intake clearly comes from ingested fluids, so whatever you drink, your electrolytes, your water, your teas, your coffees, water is also obtained from food sources. For example, watermelon, cucumber, strawberries, which are highly abundant in water. Again, the breakdown of macronutrients, also the chemical process makes water in your body. That is almost 14% of your daily water requirement. So water output is when you lose water from your body, so through peeing or pooping, sweating, and even as water vapor when you breathe. In fact, under daily normal conditions, the body loses approximately 600 ml of water through sweating. In addition to this, approximately 300 ml is lost through small water droplets and exhaled air, and majority of water is lost through the combination of urine and feces. Now, this is the most important part of the video: fluid balance during exercise. Now, water lost through urine, feces, and water vapor exhaling is all recovered through normal water intake. In normal conditions, gains in body water typically occur in and around meal times, while losses occur continually throughout the day. Ultimately, these fluctuations remain balanced through euhydration. Now, exercise can result in significant fluid loss due to release of sweat through the skin to keep your body cool. This is known as thermoregulatory sweating. For example, whole body sweat rates can range from 0.25 liters to 3 liters per hour and can vary greatly among different athletes. If lost fluids are not replenished, athletes will experience large disruptions in total body fluid balance, which poses a threat to their performance and health. Now, keep in mind, the rate of sweat loss is directly related to exercise intensity due to increased metabolic heat production. Now, other factors also come to play. Let's say large body of mass, hot and humid environments, and wearing protective equipment, let's say in American football. Because sweat rates vary differently among all athletes, my job as a sports nutrition coach is to perform individualized testing to make sure how much does each athlete sweat, and there are individual hydration program or strategies that have to be incorporated. Plus, there's a large scale of normative data out there that you can see a category you can potentially fall into, but obviously it's not individualized, but it gives you an idea. It's much better than 1 gallon of water a day. So the normative data that you can see right now demonstrates the large availability in whole body sweat rate, and they took 1300 athletes and they did this test, and then that's where they came from 0.25 liters per hour to 3 liters per hour of sweat rates. Furthermore, data also demonstrate clear differences between sports. So not every sport links to higher sweat rates. So with American football and endurance athletes have really high sweat rates compared to someone who plays golf. Although sweat is primarily comprised of water, it also contains a number of electrolytes. Now this is the key and important part, and other constituents such as potassium, magnesium, calcium, and sodium. Now, sodium and chloride are the most common electrolytes lost through sweat, and their losses can cause imbalance imbalances that impair performance. What exactly are electrolytes? Electrolytes are salts and minerals such as sodium, potassium, magnesium, and calcium. They help conduct electrical charges and impulses through the body. Some electrolytes also play other physiological functions that are crucial for performance. So for example, calcium is very important for muscle contraction. For most athletes, dehydration occurs during training or competition when fluid intake is insufficient to replace fluid losses. Alternatively, some athletes may commence exercise in already a dehydrated state due to an inability to rehydrate from the previous training session or to gain a competitive advantage, such as competing in a specific weight category. So let's say if you're a UFC fighter and you have to cut weight, so in a short period of time you're losing a lot of water weights and you're in a process of dehydration. Regardless of the dehydration method, hypohydration alters various aspects of physiological function and if severe enough may result in detriments to both health and performance. Adequate water ingestion is responsible for maintaining optimal blood volume. Insufficient water intake or excess water loss through sweat can lead to hypohydration, which results in decreased blood volume and higher blood viscosity. So this means blood thickening up. And when blood thickens up, it's harder for the blood to reach different parts of the body and muscle. So this means oxygen isn't provided enough. Now another thing to really note down is while the level of hypohydration that impairs performance is highly dependent on the methods of which hypohydration is achieved and the specific performance task, it is generally well established that dehydration greater than 2% of body weight is the critical point at which performance is reduced. I'm not saying this study says. In addition to this exercise performance, hypohydration may also influence cognitive function and skill execution, which form important components of various team and skill-based sports.